Well, hello, everyone, and welcome again to the second season of the 7 Points podcast. I'm Warren Trent. I'm here with my sergeant, Kameron Lee.
Hey, welcome back to our second season. And we're starting this season off in the DPS Heritage Museum. So, I mean, this is just such a beautiful place. And we mentioned it in our previous episode. We have the Model A. We have a motorcycle in here. We have all kinds of cool relics, not replicas, but relics and DPS history. Today we have Renee Gronski with us.
Yes.
She is an employee wellness coordinator. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I got that title right. The beginning of this season, we really wanted to touch on employee wellness. We know that our director, our leadership team is really pushing mental health, physical health, emotional health, trying to get us in a good place so that we can properly serve the way that we need to, right? And we're not talking just about sworn, we're talking about everyone. So we're glad you're here. Thanks for being here, Renee. The way we want to start is really just talking about a little bit about you. We want to get your history, maybe a little bit of your life, your family life, and then ultimately lead to where we are now and some of the things that you're doing, what you have brought to DPS with you, the knowledge, the training, the experience, and the value that you've brought to this program, because we've seen some change and some really positive things, I think, since you've been here. Not to say that it wasn't before, but it's just, you're just continuing moving the ball in the right direction, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So,
Thanks.
Renee, I'm going to turn it over to you. Do you want to tell us where you're born, raised, maybe a little bit about your family history?
Yeah, tell us about Renee.
Well, I'm a native of Phoenix, so I know that's not very common, but I'm a Phoenician and a native here.
That is not common.
It is not common.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. Everybody thinks, why would you have lived here your whole life? I like Arizona, and it's worked out great for me. So I'm a native here. Went to school here, went to NAU in Grand Canyon, and trying to think of what else you were asking.
So you graduated from what high school did you go to?
I graduated from Alhambra High School.
Alhambra
High School.
Then you went straight to NAU from there?
Yes.
Okay.
Straight to NAU, and then finished grad school at Grand Canyon.
Perfect. And so what was that grad school? What was your degree?
So my undergrad's in organizational sociology, and my master's is in leadership crisis management.
That sounds like a perfect fit for what we're talking about today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So married, children.
Yes. So I'm married. I'm somewhat of a newlywed. I've only been married for 3 years. And then I have 2 kids, Noah and Ella. And Noah's at ASU and Ella is at U of A. So we it's a house divided, but we represent both. So we're a wildcat and a devil.
I am the only devil fan in my house.
Are you really?
Yep. My wife and all my kids are U of A. Yeah. So we are a house divided.
How do you manage that? I mean, come football season, gee.
Well, come football season, I usually don't have to worry too much about it.
Oh, Mark, we won this weekend. ASU won this weekend.
Yes.
Right.
I think actually both teams won.
I think they did.
This weekend,
All right. So tell us a little bit about your role here at DPS. Tell us how long have you been here, and tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I'm one of the newer wellness coordinators. I've only been here about 7-8 months now. And my role is to help the department basically move their wellness and help the civilians or professional staff and sworn staff with anything that they might need for mental health, emotional, peer support, help with critical incident debriefs, and basically just be the person that comes alongside you when you're not exactly sure where to go or where to start. Then I'm the person that you would go to just try to help and support.
So what have the first few months been like in your role?
Well, it's been really busy and
Okay.
I'm learning really quickly. I came from city government and now moved over to state. And so I'm learning a lot of new things because we have a lot of great opportunities. I got to attend wellness coordinator training. And so we're doing a lot of critical incident debriefs, traveling around the state of Arizona, meeting a lot of people at all of the departments throughout the state.
You've been in public service for a long time, though.
I have.
So I think in our conversation prior to this, you talked about working in elementary education. Is that correct? So elementary. So talk about that, and then your transition from teaching to public safety, because you've been at departments prior to, like you mentioned.
Right. So I started out in elementary education and then moved over to public education in a police department. And then that kind of warped into doing victim services, crisis management for those departments, doing the education in the neighborhood schools and businesses, and doing victim services. So it was a rude awakening because I've been in public safety since mid 90s. So I've been here a little bit and have seen a few things. It was a big transition to go from that world where you're handing out stickers and pencils and erasers to now you're holding hands of somebody that lost their child or a family member, and you're trying to help them through all the processes that occur physically, emotionally, mentally during those situations that are critical, and then helping them through the court process also. So,
And you mentioned that at the beginning of your public safety service, you went on a ride along with a lieutenant, and you guys were just out kind of taking calls. And you mentioned some things that you saw there that I think would be a very rude awakening from what you were doing to, oh, wow, I'm no longer in elementary education.
yes.
You want to talk about that? You don't have to get too graphic, but.
So my first week, I was shagging calls with my lieutenant, and he was trying to show me the city and how it worked and what happened. And so we got to a scene before anyone else, and there was a car accident. And then I got out and walked over with him and helped him because he said, well, come with me. You're going to help. We're going to figure this out. And walked up and standing there, and we're trying to help this person. And he said, well, you're standing in brain matter. And that was my first week in public safety, going from hanging out with, second, third, and fourth graders to now I'm standing in brain matter. So it was a little different.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I think, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but having that experience, and I'm sure you've been on many other ride-alongs and been out and seen what goes on outside of the walls of a police station or things like that. How has that helped you as you grew in the role that you have now to kind of understand what officers, deputies, troopers, whoever it may be, dispatchers are dealing with, what they're seeing every day?
Well, I think a little bit of my education and experience kind of melted together and is what I bring to the table. Basically, I can see it from both perspectives, from the civilian side, not being used to seeing these types of things because it's not normal to see that. That's not what we typically see, is something so graphic. So understanding how that would be shocking to somebody that isn't used to seeing that, and now I can feel that and understand how someone else outside that isn't used to that. And then being able to help support and be that role that people need during some of their darkest times, and as us in a servant leadership format, basically, because we're here to serve and be assistance to people.
You've been doing this since the mid 90s,
Yes.
right? And I'm sure you've seen kind of the transition from where you were in the mid 90s, where we were in law enforcement in general, as far as how we deal with these types of things, mental health, emotional health, physical health, to where we are now in our perspective. I'm sure you've seen a huge shift and change over the years, because then maybe you can talk to it better than I can. I wasn't in law enforcement in 1995 or 6. What has that change been like? How did guys on patrol, gals on patrol process that type of thing? Because for you, that's a shock. For these guys, they see that every day, every other day, every week, something similar to that. And that traumatic experience, what do they do with it? How did they deal with it? And where are we trying to go with it now, I guess?
Well,
That's a lot, I know.
It's
Sorry.
a lot, yeah.
I know. So redirect me if I lose track. But we didn't deal with it back then. It was, you're fine, get back in and go do the next one. And I would get called out after a scene happened to help, and an officer or somebody on our team would be in tears or having a hard day, or I'm just not doing okay. But there wasn't the mental health part of it, where we're sending them to counseling and getting them the resources they needed to process through. We are doing that now, and that is the beautiful thing about this position as wellness coordinators, is we do recognize that there's a need for that. And we're gonna be able to help them through those things, because back then you didn't do that. You rub some dirt on it and move along. You're fine. You're gonna be fine. You have another call holding or pending and
Sure.
you needed to go. Now we're allowing for you to have that time to take a breath, to process, to have somebody to talk to have peer support or a chaplain. We didn't always have those, and now we do at DPS. We have peer support, we have chaplains, we have 3 wellness coordinators, and they're all here basically to help keep everybody in a healthy place. And if they're not in a healthy place, we have the resources to help them so that they can have a long, healthy career and have a great life outside of their career.
I love that you mentioned that. On my way in this morning, I was actually thinking about that, this program that is up and running and the things that the department is trying to do, it's not only here for us now to be healthy and happy and deal with things the way that we should, but post-career, because there are some statistics out there, and I can't spew them offhand, of a longevity of an officer post-career. And what kind of life is that if you wait until you're done with this career to then try and maybe deal with something or find a way to self-medicate or whatever it may be? In 1996, I'm sure there was a stigma, right? Like, you just got to be tough. And we do.
Right.
You have to be able to hold it together and then go to the next call. But those resources, dang, they need to be there. And they're here. And even more, I think, are coming. And let's kind of, can we talk about that a little bit? Because we talked about it with Misty. Every day, a duty report is sent out, and it outlines the critical incidents that happened the day prior, right? And you guys review that, and there's usually quite a few around the state,
Right.
which is a challenge for you guys because they are around the state. You can't just go across town or go to that precinct or this precinct. What are you guys doing to get out around the state to help guys that are involved in this stuff?
Well, first, initially, we look at the duty report and see that any fatalities or major incidences, we are sending out emails letting them know, hey, we're here. There's an opportunity. We can come out, do a debrief. We can help you. And then we're also making ourselves available. Last week, myself and one of the other coordinators, we went out to Yuma to try to visit, make ourselves known, and we're going to be going around the state. We've been to, Flagstaff and Tucson and throughout this last 7 months, but we're trying to make ourselves more available, seen, so you could put names and faces together, so that when they get that email from me saying just checking on your team, then they know who it is that's sending it to them. So we're definitely trying to put ourselves out there and make sure that they know that we're here and we're a resource to try to unload that backpack, so they're not carrying it to the next call and the next week and the next month.
Yeah.
I always think about our troopers who roll up on these fatal scenes, collisions. As PO manager, I've going out to some of the scenes, and the deceased may still be in the vehicles, and I don't go up to it. I'm like, I don't need to see that. But I think about the troopers that do have to do that, and I'm always wondering, how do they process this? Because I don't know how I would do that. So the resources that your team offers, I think, is just invaluable for mental wellness.
Yeah, it's a lot to process, and our brains are not created to be able to take all of that in, yet
Right.
we're putting people in these situations that they do have to do that. That's why our resources are crucial, so that they can be okay. And it's not always just the troopers, it's the crime scene,
Right.
are taking photos,
Right,
people
that's
that are watching the body cam footage,
Yep.
dispatchers, they're hearing it, the play-by-play. So our resources go for everyone, no matter what position they hold in the department, because it affects everyone.
And that's to your point, is we have a lot of non-sworn, what we call professional staff,
Right.
that are heavily involved in these critical incidents, whether it be crime scene processing on scene. We have civilian investigators now, the lab personnel, the people that are reviewing body cam footage, photos, folks in the crime lab. So these things affect a lot of people. And we oftentimes focus on the sworn, just because we are a law enforcement agency and this is the uniform that we're in. But there are so many people behind the scenes that need this just as much. I have a question for you, I guess. What would we want the public to kind of understand about law enforcement, what people are seeing, and then kind of what this program means to them too? Because if we have a healthier law enforcement, I think interactions with the public are they going to be better? Is it better that maybe the public understands what troopers are seeing, what our personnel are seeing, to maybe have a little bit better understanding of, hey, if you're stopped and the trooper may be professional, but he may not be super cheery, there's probably a good reason behind that. He gives you a ticket because you didn't have your seatbelt on after he stopped you for speeding, but he was just at a fatality the day prior and somebody didn't have their seatbelt on and probably would have survived had they had it on.
Right.
He's probably going to, I think there's a sense of frustration, almost like, gosh, that could have been prevented. I'm stopping you for this, but I am going to give you a ticket for your seatbelt too, because I need you to understand that I don't want to roll up to you and have to go tell your family either. So I don't know.
Well, I agree. I think that could definitely play a role, because they're looking at it from the perspective of you could be the same age as their family member, or the kids in the back seat are the same age as their grandkids or their children, and they're looking at them going, they need to be in a seatbelt
Yeah.
because I don't want to have to go tell somebody that they're no longer here. And so I think troopers are always coming from a place of care and concern for you and the people around them, and so they just want to protect and serve and make sure everybody's okay. And they're also looking at it from the person, they have a family too.
Yeah.
And so they're looking at it going, that could have been my kid, that could have been my brother or sister or mom and dad, and they don't want to have to ever do that.
Yeah, outside of this job, we're coaches and parents and
Yep, exactly.
leaders at a church or whatever it may be. We're normal, just like everyone else.
Yep, absolutely.
So-
I know a few months ago I was a MC for Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and hearing some of the stories of people from the fatality. So thank goodness. I mean, what you guys do, like it was like an aha moment for me, because they're like, every drunk driver that you guys pull over, you're likely saving someone's life, and someone will get to see their loved one because you guys pulled someone over that made a poor decision about drinking and driving. And so that just was like I said, an aha moment for me. It's like, it just provided a different perspective. So, being here at DPS just allows me to just see things from a different lens.
Yeah. Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's been great.
And the other thing I was talking about with Misty, kind of post our podcast with her, was you guys also do hold critical incident debriefs for other agencies as well.
Right.
So, statutorily, we are an assist agency, and that is one of the things that we can offer other agencies that may not have all the resources that we have. And so you guys will go around and also help those agencies.
Yeah, and we've done several that they didn't have the resources and they needed it. And so we were afforded the opportunity to do that and help them. Another great thing that we offer, it's not the resources that we have in for all of our internal staff also extends to your family. So the people that live in your home, those resources extend to them. So counseling, things like that, they're able to get if they live in your home. As a trooper and you come home and you are stressed out because you saw something really terrible, and then it is affecting your family in some way and they want to have somebody to talk to, then we have that resource and it's provided for them at no cost too.
Yeah, and that's so needed. I think our families unfortunately take a good brunt of what's experienced in the job.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we recognize that before it goes too far. But we, like I said before, we've seen just the awesome progression of this program, the way that you are getting around the state. And one of our hopes with this podcast, kind of this series for EAP and wellness, is that we can start putting names with faces, so that if you haven't made it to the trooper squad yet, they can at least see Renee now, know who she is when they start to communicate with you. And then when they see you, they know who they're talking to. And I think that will help ease and relieve the stigma that comes with some of this, I'm too good for help, or I don't need help. When we went through the academy 17 years ago, we touched on this. We brought spouses in and they talked about, hey, your husband's going to change and there's these resources, but it's never been pushed harder than it has now. Personally, I think me and my family are grateful for that. We appreciate all the resources that are being pushed and the help that's given to me and my family as well.
I think it's fantastic. I'm glad. I think first time I met you, I think we were in the stairwell you were going up or coming down, and like, you were a new face. Who are you? Kind of thing. You told me what you did. And I was like, oh man, that's tremendous what you do. So thank you for what you do.
Oh yeah, thank you. I mean, I feel so blessed to be here, and it's such a pleasure to be a part of this transition and the all the great things that we have the opportunity to share with everyone in our department. I'm coming in at a really great time where it's gonna be a totally different mood or culture that is being created here, from 30, 40 years ago till now. And where everybody that's coming in or that's already here, they're just going to receive some really great resources so that when you do retire, because we're not maybe going to work until we're 95, so we want to be able to enjoy our lives and our family enjoy their life and have a healthy, happy, long life with your families after.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you, Renee, for coming in, sitting down with Sergeant and I. It's just great. And thank you, everyone, for joining in and watching and listening to our 7 Points podcast here in the Heritage Museum. Come check it out. It's a pretty neat place. AZDPS museum.org.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it. That's a mouthful.
Thank you. Like Kameron said, there's some relics. Well, I'm not much younger than the relics, but but yeah, come on down and check out the museum. And once again, thank you for taking part in our 7 Points podcast.